You have verse 2 on nectar of instruction. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, first let me just. Can everyone see? Yes. Okay. Okay. So first, we start with Jai Radha Madhava and then we read the invocation. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jaya Jaya Yashodana Dana Ranjana Yashodana Dana Jana Namunati Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare.
Okay, next we shall read the invocation. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dada Shri Swapanantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shah Shri Rupam Sagrajantam Samagana Raghunatam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Samagana Lalita Shri Visakam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pashatya Desha Tarini Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Hare Krishna everyone. Okay, now we're going to see text 2 of Nectar of Instruction. Nectar of Instruction text 1 how we control our senses, and the one who control their senses can make disciples all around the world. So here in text 2, now we're going to see is, okay, I will read one by one and then everyone please repeat. Atyahara Prayascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha Jana Sangas Chalaulayam Cha Sadbir Bhaktir Vinashati Atyahara Prayascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha Jana Sangas Chalaulayam Cha Sadbir Bhaktir Vinashati Okay, Prabhu and Mataji's try. Three people try. Okay, never mind. Let's go to word translation. Atyahara. Overeating or too much collecting. Prayasa. Over endeavoring. Cha and Prajalpa, idle talking. Niyama, rules and regulations. Agraha, too much attachment. Or agraha, too much neglect. Jana Sangha, association with worldly minded person. Cha and Laulayam, errand, logging or greed. Cha and Sadbihi, by the 6 Bhakti, devotional service. Vinashati, is destroyed. Translation. One's devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in these following 6 activities. Okay, devotional service how can a devotee fall down? These 6 is the main causes. The first one is eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. Second one is over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. Third, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. Fourth, practicing the scriptural rules and regulation only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulation of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. Fifth, associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And the last one is being greedy for mundane achievement. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Okay. You can see first thing in the purport, there's a quote. Human life is meant for plain living and high thinking. This is actually very important as devotees for us. Because in the purport, Srila Prabhupada has said that since all conditioned living beings are under the control of Lord's third energy. What is Lord's third energy? Lord's third energy. Lord's third energy. This material world is designed so that one is obliged to work. So in the world, everyone works, everyone serves someone. Okay, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has three primary energies, which is the energies or potencies. The first one is called Antaranga Shakti. It is known as the internal potency. The second one is Tatastha Shakti, is marginal potency. And the third one is Bahiranga Shakti, the external potency. And they are situated between the internal and external potencies. Being subordinate as eternal servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Jivatmas or atomic living entities must remain under the control of either internal or external potency. When they are under control of the internal potency, they display their natural constitutional activity, namely constant engagement in devotional service in the Lord. Okay. நம்ம எல்லாரும் இப்ப கிருஷ்ணா லார்ட் கிருஷ்ணாவோட மூணாவது எனர்ஜில இருக்கும், which is yes. So நம்மளோட அந்த நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும்னா, our job as Jivatmas, we always must serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This one has been also stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.13. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakirtim ashritaha bhajanti anya manaso jinatva muktidim avyayam. Okay, this is from Bhagavad Gita. The translation reads that son of Partha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. The devotees are normally not deluded. We are not delusional about material stuff. We know what we know what we are doing in life. So people like us, we are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original and inexhaustible. So the sloka first word Mahatma. Mahatma na. So now we're going to know what is Mahatma. Okay. The word, the sloka refers to broad-minded persons. Mahatma means broad-minded persons. And not cripple-minded. Cripple-minded, Tamil enna moodar na Mooder. Cripple-minded people. Mooder, like they are in delusion. They're like, oh, I don't believe in God. What is the proof? What is the proof? Na respectful solren. Mooden, okay? Mooden. So Mooden na I don't believe in God. What is the proof? Like science means I have a proof that this metal react with that metal, and I can see the one in my own eyes. Where is the proof that God exists? That is the time of Mooden. Atheist lah. Okay. So who is Mahatma? Now we can see. Triple-minded people, Tamil mooder. Okay. This People are the ones who always engage in satisfying their senses. Okay, even if they are so-called Mahatma and they are like, oh, I am born to serve the country. I am born to serve this one particular thing, like example, nationalism, feminism. Example, I am born to fight for rights. This type of people, even though they control their own self senses, they are satisfying other people's senses. So this one is all. இப்போ வந்து வெளியாளுக்கு வந்து இதெல்லாம் பார்க்கும்போது they'll be like, wow, they're so good lah. They're such a good person. They go and do that, go and do this, fight for our right. But in material, in a spiritual point of view, there's no gains of nothing. So why do you want to do something that doesn't give you gains in spiritual life? Why do you want to go fight, like go fight, kill yourself in the nationalism parade or something? So when you die for this, for nothing, you die for nothing. There's no spiritual gain. Everything only for the material people point of view, they'll be like, oh, they're so good. Okay, I give them this one medal, national service medal, something like that. But they're dead. So, but the spiritual point of view, there's nothing. There's no gain in anything. Just because you save the country, you just fight for your right and you die. What's the spiritual gain? You're not doing any good things. Okay. They might reject personal sense gratification for the sense gratification of others, for the members of society, community, or family. All the sense gratification from personal to communal to society might look all very good from the material point of view, but all such activities has no spiritual values. So there's no spiritual values on this type of activities. I fight for this, I fight for that. There's no spiritual gain in anything like that. Okay, only when the person gratifies the senses of the Supreme Lord, okay, they can be called Mahatma. Example, they call Mahatma Gandhi. Why? Because he fought for the country. But is that the true Mahatma? Did he satisfy Krishna's senses, Lord Krishna's senses? No. That the true Mahatma is the person who gratifies the senses of the Supreme Lord. They are the only person that we can call as Mahatma. Then, in the same sloka, in the third line, we can see Devi Prakritim. Devi Prakritim refers to the control of the internal and the pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who is the pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Venkatesh? Who is the internal potency or the pleasure potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Correct. The pleasure potency is manifested as Srimati Radharani and or another expansion, which is Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. So every living thing has an individual soul. I have a soul. I have my own personal soul. I have this mind. She has her own soul. Vegetables have their own soul, Okay, they have individual souls called Jiva. And all of these individual souls are under the control of the internal energy. Their only engagement their only like tagati, their only thing they have to do is become only engage in the satisfaction of Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu. Okay, this is the position of Mahatma. If one is not a Mahatma, he's a Duratma. Okay, cripple-minded person or Buddha. Such mentally crippled Duratmas are put under the control of Lord's external potency. What is the Lord's external potency? Mahamaya. Yes. See, all of the living beings, butterflies, fish, human, dogs, everything has a soul, right? All living entities within this material world is under the control of Mahamaya, whose business is to subject them to the influence of threefold miseries, which is Adi Vaika Klesha, Adi Bhautika Klesha, and Adi Yatmika Klesha. Adi Vaika Klesha means suffering caused by the demigods, such as tsunamis, such as forest fires, such as earthquakes, earthquakes. That is the suffering caused by the demigods. Okay. Next is Adi Bhautika Klesha. Suffering caused by another living entity like humans or insects. Oh, she's my enemy. I don't like her. She's causing me suffering. That is Adi Bhautika Klesha. And oh, a snake bit me today. That is also Adi Bhautika Klesha. That is the suffering caused by other living things. Adi Atmika Klesha is suffering caused by one's own body. Oh, I'm very tired today. I feel I'm having headache. I don't want to do anything. That is the suffering caused by our own body. Okay. Okay. This is our senses. Daiva Bauta Hetava. That is the last line of the sloka, which is the conditioned souls are subjected to the three folds of misery. Another thing is the three folds of miseries by the conditioned soul is subjected is the repetition of birth, death, old age, and disease. Okay, how can one perform such work in a way that is favorable to the execution of Krishna consciousness? How? Is everyone should acquire possessions such as food grains, clothing, and money, and other things that maintain the body only. One should not collect more than necessary and his actual basic need. If this is followed, there will be no difficulties in maintaining the body or the mentality, our mentality. Okay. Okay, now, according to the nature's engagement, living entities lower than the evolutionary scale do not eat or collect more than necessary. Okay, this is an analogy. Everyone please concentrate. Appa, concentrate. So this is like analogy to understand. If, okay, today I feel like I want to donate something. I just take one bag of rice and keep it in the middle of the padang. If a bird sees the bag of rice, the crow will only take what it needs, what it can take, only for itself. But if a human sees that, what the human will do? Take the whole bag and go. That is human. That is called eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. Okay, it's called atyahara. Collecting atyahara. This is the cause of all the problems, most of the problems, economical problems in the world. They are too greedy. Atyahara, they take all, like humans, they are too greedy. They take everything they want. The bird, you see, lower living beings like animals and birds will only take what it needs, what it wants. But humans, oh, I want to take, I'll eat as much as I want, and then I'll store it. That is humans thinking. That is what we shouldn't do. Okay? Okay. 1 second. Okay, by God's arrangement, by Lord Krishna's arrangement, it is stated in the purport that if one man, he has a cow, just a cow, and a small piece of land, not even that big, a medium-sized land, it's enough to be self-sufficient. He can plant grains, he can plant vegetables, he can harvest them, and the cow will give the farmer or the person milk. With the milk, you can make ghee, you can make curd, you can make paneer. How many things you can make just with cow's milk? So by God's arrangement, we have everything. Just the humans just need a small piece of land with a small shelter and a cow. It's enough to be self-sufficient. No need to go to the cities, work hard, earn so much of money, and be stressful. Every day you come back, you scream, you cry, you're out of frustration, you cry. You have no time for bhakti. You cannot chant. You feel frustrated with other living beings. So other than that, we can just a small piece of land somewhere, maybe in a hilly place. You get a small piece of land, build a small cottage for yourself, have a beautiful altar. have a cow. You can cow, basically, milk is, you can make so much with milk. You can make ghee, you can make curd, you can make paneer, and you can drink the milk itself. That is how healthy the milk is, and how milk is very, very multi-purpose. But Krishna, because humans have the ability to think, they have their ability to advance. Because of this advancement, actually they should advance in Krishna consciousness and not in all these. They build factories, they build brothels, they build clubs and pubs. Is that necessary? Is that spiritual advancement? And not even spiritually talking, we can talk about logically. All of this will bring pain to one human being. Brothels will bring pain. Pubs, you get intoxicated, you fight, you die. And all this nuclear power plant, all these factories, it's so bad for our environment. Is it? The humans, we have the Bhakyam, Bhakyam. So we have the Bhakyam to actually think, and we actually modernize. But in this modern age, we are not modernizing, they're not thinking about how we advance in Krishna consciousness. We think about how we advance, how we get more money, how we enjoy our life materially. Okay. Next is, this is very important. Human life is meant for God realization, and human being is given higher intelligence for this purpose, and not to just go and build some brothels, build some bars, build some pubs all around the world and earn money out of it. Okay, the human, those who believe in the higher intelligence is meant to attain a higher state should follow the instruction of the Vedic literatures. By talking such instruction from higher authorities, one can actually become situated in the perfect knowledge and give real meaning to life. I want to ask you all something. I want to ask your opinion. Do you think earning so much of money your whole life, you work like a dog, you work like a slave, to some people and earn a lot of money just for your children? Is that necessary? Just for your children to enjoy and use it without any limitation? Is it important? Or you can be in Krishna consciousness and actually be happy during your life, during your period of life. So, next one is Prajalpa. Prajalpa is very, very important in Krishna consciousness. It's a very important point that we should follow. One should avoid Prajalpa, talking of mundane subject matters unrelated to devotional service. Okay. What Srila Prabhupada says in Prajalpa is we can avoid idle conversation and utilize our time in spare moments for studying slokas from the Gita or Bhagavatam. Practically, I have given you more than enough for 50 years at one sloka daily. If you can simply read one sloka daily, this is the step-by-step process. So, Prajalpa is actually very bad for our Krishna consciousness, very harmful to our Krishna consciousness. Okay. Narottama Dasa Thakura has strictly advised us. He strictly has stated that we only should be with our devotee friends. We should only have association with our devotee friends. Why? There's an English saying says, you show your friends, I'll show you what kind of person you are. So even if you're like so pious, you're like, okay, I am chanting, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, but I have very bad friends. They smoke, they get high, they get drunk. Somehow the Maya will influence you. Somehow they are the bad influence in your life. Okay? They are the bad influence in your life. If your friend is a Krishna conscious devotee, if your friend is a devotee, when you gather, what you'll talk about? You'll talk about Krishna Kada. You'll talk about, wow, so I read this book, I read Srimad Bhagavatam Sloka today, and it said this. So, Prajalpa is the main cause of our fall down. After this, we are going to talk about Jana Sangha. So, Jana Sangha is also very important. But Prajalpa is when we control our talking. We have how to say, we be disciplined and we know what we talk and not talk nonsense. Like how if a group of old people they gather, what they'll talk about? They'll talk about their retirement story, life after retirement. They'll talk about politics. They'll talk about what is the current news. They talk about, oh, my family that, my family this. Is it necessary? You talk bad things, you gossip about people. Is it, if when you gossip, it only makes you more angrier if you hear some gossip about you. Imagine you're talking and like, oh, you know that guy said something about you like this. Is it necessary to be that, to emotionally damage you like that? So when you talk, when you gossip about others, others will gossip about you. So that is why we should know that prajalpa is very unnecessary. We don't need prajalpa in our life. We can associate with devotees. Devotee association is very important. And association through Zoom. I'm not saying about association through virtual association. I'm talking about association in real life. Okay? Because when you associate in real life, you serve each other, you bow down to each other, you talk about Krishna Katha together, you're physically there. But associating through Zoom, how are you going to associate through Zoom? COVID is no more a thing. You have to come to temple, serve the deities, serve your fellow devotees. I serve you, you serve me. That is the thing. That is important. You bow down to each other. You talk about Krishna Katha, discuss about Krishna Katha. Not like Hare Krishna Prabhu, good morning. And then we have a Srimad Bhagavatam class and then we are gone. That is not association. That is association, but very minimal association. Maybe every Saturday, here we have promised every Saturday you can come and you just have small association like how Matajis and Prabhus, they cook today. That's also serving each other. I serve you, you serve me. How we bow down to deities and we see each other, we bow down, we say Vancha Kalpa. Right? That is association. Not, okay, Hare Krishna, everyone from Zoom. Today we're going to learn about this. So it's not like that. Okay? Zoom learning, but still, that is what I meant. We have to have physical association, not just through virtually. Okay? Jana Sangha, okay. Jana Sangha refers to associating with one person who is not interested in Krishna consciousness. I have many examples like this. Even in my own family, even not even my own family, you can see in temple itself. Okay, you can see in this picture how everyone is quarreling. Everyone is quarreling, but in this picture, what is everyone doing? Everyone is chanting, everyone is talking. Which picture is peaceful? This one or this one? Why is it moving? This is the first picture, everyone look. This is the second picture. Which one looks more peaceful? Yes. So I see these people, they talk nonsense and they don't believe in Krishna consciousness. This is just pure nonsense they'll be talking. Like, oh, I don't believe in this. Where is your proof? Even if you give proof, they still argue back and back and back with no points. They cannot rebut us with anything. All they do is, no, this one is wrong. What is your proof? What is your proof? When we give proof, they're like, no, this is still wrong. What is your proof that Vedas is true? What is your proof that Krishna is real? How do you know Krishna is God? The most worst thing I've heard is, how do you think Bhagavad Gita is real? How do you know that people don't change what Krishna said? They don't believe in the disciplined succession. They don't trust anything. They just say, oh, proof, science. So that is Jana Sangha. Okay, now we can see how we associate with people who are not in Krishna consciousness and who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. We should just have minimal association. Okay, example, in a family, there's an uncle and there's a niece. Niece is a Krishna conscious devotee and the uncle is, he doesn't believe. Okay, so what you have to do is have minimal conversation. If the uncle says, okay, how are you, ma? Are you fine? Then you say, I'm fine, mama, I'm okay. Like that. Let's talk about studies. Okay, yeah, chemistry is very hard, physics is very hard. Like that. We just have minimal conversation. We don't need to like sit down. Because that is not worth. Okay, that's why Jana Sangha is also very important, because people these people always criticize. Everything they do is criticize. They rebut. They don't believe. So if they still don't believe, you don't need to go and talk to them anymore. But if in a situation where you have to talk to them, they are your best friend, they are your friend, they are your cousin, they are your uncle, they are auntie. Have minimal association. Hi, how are you? Hello. எப்படி இருக்காங்க எல்லாரும்? Like that only. Like that. We have to have that type of association. But with the devotee, we can talk a lot of things. We can have our own. That's why associating with devotees will make us happy. We'll feel less heavy. When you talk with people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, when you talk to them itself, I will feel like, yeah, I don't feel like talking to them. I just don't want to talk to them. Because I felt that personally many times. So when I talk to people in the temple, I feel happy. I'm eager to talk to them. When I talk to people who are not interested, I'm like, hi, how are you? Something like that. So that is very important. You should not associate with people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. Okay, next is this is also Janasangha. The spiritual association offered by ISKCON movement is increasing day by day. What is the proof? ISKCON movement started in US. Now there's devotee in Russia. This is all Russian devotees, for information. Okay, Russian devotees. You see how even though they are white by their skin, everything, they are still in Krishna consciousness. You can see they get married in a Krishna conscious way. They wear sari and they do Harinam. And this one is in Africa, 2 parts of the world where it doesn't connect to India at all. How can they suddenly become a devotee? How can all of them be in Krishna consciousness? You see, this is if I'm not sure, Africa, somewhere in Africa, Radha Yatra. You see all the Matajis, all wearing saris, all having fun. This is the type of fun we want. Who wants to go to the club? You'll obviously fight in the club. You'll get drunk and then you'll go mental and then you'll fight. You see people like this, you still dance on the road. But this time, if you get drunk, you'll dance on the road, people will call the police. But if you dance here, they won't call the police because this is actual fun. Okay? Next is Atyahara, collecting more than needed. As an example, here, there's another analogy. How is one karmi? He worked day and night to build a very big mansion for his family, for his sons and grandsons. He built a big things. He built that, he built this, and he accumulate all of the wealth. But after he dies, he borns back as a cobbler's son. And do you know that the cobbler's son used to work in the Karmi's mansion, and the Karmi used to take the slipper, the shoe, and beat the cobbler. So the same thing is repeating. Now is the cobbler's son. So he's going to get beating from the shoe, by his own sons and grandsons from the previous. So unless the karmi or jnanis become interested in Krishna consciousness, they will simply waste their life in fruitless activities. It's not worth it. Do you want to be born again? Get that, get this. A lot of problems. Okay, just go back to Godhead. Be happy then. Next is, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, the endeavor of philosophical speculators to write volumes on books on dry philosophy devoid of Krishna consciousness is entirely futile. The work of karmis who write volumes of books on economic development also falls in the category of Atyahara. Okay, understand this? Okay. Next, Niyama Agraha. What is Niyama Agraha? Niyama Agraha means failure to accept. Agraha means eagerness to accept. And Niyama means rules and regulation. Those interested in Krishna consciousness should not be eager to accept the rules and regulations just for economic advancement. Oh, they said, I do this a lot of times. Somehow I'll gain a lot of money. That is some magic. People say like that. So they follow all of these, be disciplined just because they expect something back. That is wrong. We shouldn't do that. We should only put full faith on this and accept it for spiritual advancement, not material advancement or economical advancement. Okay. Next is, one should also avoid association with Mayavadis who simply blaspheme Vaishnavas, Bhukti Kamis, or who interested in material happiness, Mukti Kamis, or who desire liberation by merging in the existence of the formless absolute Brahman, and Siddhi Kamis, who desire the perfection of mystic yoga practice, are classified as Atyaharis. To associate with such persons is not desirable at all. So, as I said, when you talk to a karmi, when you talk to a person who doesn't want to be in Krishna consciousness, don't believe, you feel heavy, you don't have the eagerness to talk to them. You're just like, because they are your family, because they are your best friend, because of their friends, you just have to talk to them. You're forced to talk to them. Okay? You feel heavy and hard to talk to them. But as an example, you can give, okay, if you have a devotee best friend and you also have a normal karmi best friend, when you talk to your karmi best friend, you don't feel satisfied. You feel after you talk to her or him, you feel heavy. You feel like, oh, I don't feel well. But when you talk to a devotee best friend, you can see how you feel light-hearted. You feel like good. You feel very happy, and you feel like, oh, I feel very open. I feel very light-hearted. I don't feel heavy-hearted like how when I talk to my karmi best friend, something like that. So everyone, devotees, should avoid the association of Mayavadis. Okay, that is very important because they know it will annoy us. They know it will. They are foolish. They are just very foolish. I don't believe in this because I see no. Like a few days ago, I had a debate online on Instagram on a comment because he was talking nonsense. He was like, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that. So I argued back in a scientific way with proofs, with research proofs. So that is the way you can argue back. If they still don't listen, leave them. It's not worth talking to them. It's not worth wasting your time. You can chant like 2 rounds in the time of talking to them. 2 rounds give more gain than talking to that person. Okay? This is the Mayavadis. This is the Mayavadis picture. Desire to expand the mind by perfecting mystic yoga to merge in the existence of Brahman or attain whimsical material prosperities are all included in the category of Laulaya. Okay, this is the Mayavadi. They are very greedy. Everything was like, oh, I want everything. So next thing I want to say is Laulaya, greed. Okay, now I want to ask everyone, if you're just walking by the market and you see one very thick gold chain, very thick. I think if you go and sell it, you can get thousands, 10,000 ringgit. What would you do? Bye. Okay, I'll give you options. 1, you take the money, you take the one, you sell it and you take the money. 2, you go give it to the police. Be a very good guy, very honest guy, give it to the police. Or the third one, you go and find the person and give it to them. And the fourth one, you give it to the temple. I want the real one. I don't need to lie. That is the third one. First one, yes. Yeah. So what would you do? If you sell it, you get 10,000 ringgit. It's such thick. It's something like this thick gold chain. What would you do? Okay. Okay. $100 bill. In the book, we have another example, which is the $100 bill. If a $100 bill is lying on the street and someone may pick it up and put it in his pocket saying, it's my luck. I got 100 ringgit today. Okay? Or they might, that such person is not honest. I mean, put 100 ringgit and put your pocket and say, it's not luck. And then that person is not honest. You take this gold chain, put it and sell it, that's not honest. Okay. Next is other men may see the money and let it be remain there. Let it be like, it's not my money, I don't want to touch it. I don't want to whatever. Let it be there. I don't care. That person is thinking that he should not touch another's property. Although the second man did not steal the money for his own purposes, he is unaware of the proper use. Because if you see 100 ringgit bill, do you actually not pick it up? Keep it with it. Not just use it for himself, but he doesn't know the worth of the $100 bill. Okay? The third man who sees the $100 bill may pick it up, find the man who lost it, and deliver to him. This man does not steal the money to spend for himself, nor he neglects neglect the money and let it lie in the street. By taking it and delivering it to the man who has lost it, this man is both honest and wise. Okay, in the chain of Pata enna pannalaanu na answer putren. Give it to the temple, because all of the wealth we see and we receive belongs to Krishna. We don't need to fight. Because you see, the third example, this man, he took the $100 bill and he gave it back to the man who lost it. So you don't know who's the man who lost it. It's the temple. And this gold chain, you keep it yourself, you're greedy, you're unhonest. When you just leave it there, you're stupid, you're dumb. Because you're leaving a very expensive thing on the floor. And the third thing, you give it to the temple because it belongs to Krishna. What all the properties in the world, everybody's money, everybody's wealth belong to Krishna. Okay. And the proof is Ishopanishad Sloka 1. Isha Vasham idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tani tattena bhujitaha magrada khashya shrim ganam. Very important sloka. Okay. Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. Okay. Owned by Lord Krishna. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside to his quota. And one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. It's a very important thing because everything belongs to Krishna. This table, this mardanga, this karta, this book, this laptop, everything belongs to Krishna. But we are using it for Krishna consciousness. You're using this for my quota. I present this for Krishna consciousness. I use this book. I write my notes of Krishna consciousness. This is the book printed. This paper printed Krishna consciousness. That is how we use our things for Krishna. This is our quota. Okay. Simply transferring wealth from capitalists to communists cannot solve the problem of modern politics. This is very important. Okay. For it has been demonstrated by the communists, when a communist gets money, he uses it for his own sense gratification. The wealth of the world actually belongs to Krishna. இப்போ வந்து ஸ்ரீலா ரூப கோஸ்வாமி வந்து ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் கொடுத்தாரு between the modern capitalist and modern communist. Modern capitalists, what they do is they accumulate all the wealth they need. Everything greedy, that's his lovely. Okay, but the communists, they are jealous that this capitalists can get a lot of money. So what the communist says, they want all their wealth to be nationalized. Okay, communists and capitalists can't solve wealth distribution. It never happens. Always they'll be like, okay. Okay. One thing in the world, everything messes up because of greed. War happened because of greed. I want this oil. I want the oil from this country, and this country don't want to give me, so I go for war. I want this type of thing. I want that type of thing. I fight with each other. So that Greed is the main cause of every single problem. Okay. So how we can solve this problem is we should accept that everything belongs to Krishna, and we only have this quota where, oh, this is only for me. This quota belongs only for me. I don't have to be greedy and take extra. Okay. That is the problem. When people take extra, they are greedy. Other people will be jealous of this person because this person gets extra. Even example as siblings, 4 of us. You cut one pizza into 4. And imagine my mother cutting time, she cut this one piece small. So when she cut this one piece small, they will definitely fight for the bigger piece. They will definitely, from personal experience, I can tell you that they will definitely fight for the bigger piece. Okay? They always want the bigger stuff. Okay? Money. They want more money. They don't want less money. They don't want to accept that this is their quota. Okay? Okay. We are going towards the end of the sloka. Krishna conscious devotees know very well that this material world is designed to complete the arrangement of the Lord, to fulfill all the necessities of life of all living beings. Without they are having to encroach upon their life or rights of another, this complete arrangement affords a proper quota of wealth for everyone according to his real needs, and thus everyone may live a peaceful life according to the principle of plain living and high thinking. Okay? Unfortunately, materialists who have neither faith in the plan of God or any aspiration for higher spiritual development misuse their God-given intelligence. They misuse. They become greedy. They open slaughterhouses because now the main thing for food industry is meat. The bigger the slaughterhouse, the more produce you make, the more money you make. That is how greedy they are. Okay, that is why they misuse the brains, their thinking skills, their intelligence given by God. They misuse it, they become greedy, and they start doing bad things. Okay, they devise many systems such as capitalism and materialistic communism to advance their material position. They are not interested in the laws of God or in any higher goal. They have no goal in life, to be honest. All they care about is money, money, money. Okay? Because everyone is greedy. Because the more money you have, the higher status you become. It's not about moral etiquettes anymore. Everything, oh, this guy, even though he's a very bad guy, he's very rich, his status is higher than a guy who is poorer but has very high moral etiquettes. That is the painful reality now. So here we can see that these kind of people, they have no goal in life. All they want to do is go with the flow and make money. Many people now, it's a trend. Go with the flow. When you want to get married, I want to go with the flow. I don't know. When you want to finish your studying, go with the flow. The go with the flow is the new current trend. They don't have a goal, which, oh, okay, by this age, I want to do this, by that, I want to do this, and I want to be a very perfect Krishna conscious devotee. That is impossible in this age by many of these materialistic people. Everything they do is go with the flow. Okay? Yeah. They are conspicuous by their ability to exploit their fellow living beings, like killing animals. You exploit cows. You suck the machine. When the cows are full with milk, use the machine and suck the milk. You know how much of blood, you know how much of force it's put into when they're sucking the milk out of the cows? And how they're killing the cows. They're killing just for food. They're killing the chicken. If you love animals, let me tell everyone, if you love animals is not dog only, yeah? It's also chicken. It's also cows. Okay? If you love animals, you have to think. You have to think. You love animals, you have to love cows. Because cows is also animal. Not only dogs and cats. Not, oh my God, dog or antipatici. I have to, this much of money I want to pay. I want to give 1 month of my savings to this dog shelter. Because I love dog and I love animals. No such thing. It doesn't make sense. I love dog, but I eat chicken. What kind of thing is that? Okay, that is exploit their fellow teams. Okay, when human society gives up these elementary faults, okay, when human society gives up these elementary faults enumerated by Srila Rupa Goswami, Atyahara, etc., all enmity will cease between men and animals, capitalists and communists, and so forth. In addition, all problems of economic and political maladjustments and instability will be solved. This is confirmed, will be solved. When just people know their quota, every problem is solved. Okay? This pure consciousness is awakened by the proper spiritual education and the practice offered by scientifically by the Krishna conscious movement. People say, oh, y'all just follow some book was written 5,000, 6,000 years ago and y'all follow this one. They'll be like that. Can you just open your brain, open your eyes and read what it actually says and not just speculate on what it might say. Okay, it's very dumb. Oh, you all believe bathing in cow dung is very holy. Yes, it is holy and it's proven. You see, a German scientist, he did an experiment on cow dung in 2018. He found that cow dung is very healthy and it gives out a lot of this, it acts as a sanitizer. Disinfect all the germs, cow dung. Okay, but the same thing has been spoken in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam was written in 2018, is it? Is people saying, oh, scientists found first, science found first. Science found first, is it? How long ago Srimad Bhagavatam was written? So you have to think, how long ago it has stated that this cow dung is giving us spiritual, it will cleanse our body and how our body gets cleaned with cow dung. That's why in house purification ceremony, they use cow urine and cow dung because it purifies us. And the same thing scientists find in 2018, a German scientist, he finds out, oh, it is very healthy for us. We can do something. People making soap out of cow dung now. Did the German scientists found it or the Vedas stated it? So you have to think. You have to make it make sense. People talk nonsense. You shouldn't listen to their nonsense. You should give them actual proof and how the Vedas is more accurate than any science out there. It is the true science. It's more advanced. It's 100,000% more advanced than all of this new modern science. They stated so many stuff. Just because they find out, oh, now I find out that this one is this one, they believe it because science said so. That is very dumb. This Krishna conscious movement offers a spiritual community that can bring about a peaceful condition in the world. Every intelligent man should purify his consciousness and rid himself of the above 6 hindrances to devotional service. So the 6 hindrances is very bad. Okay, it should never be done. It's big aparat. Okay, it's the cause of aparats. It's the cause of devotee fall down. Oh, why this happened? Why that happened? All because of these 6 things. You really study into their case and you can see their root cause is either one of the 6 things. Okay. Yeah, in the next sloka text 8, we'll be seeing what is the 6 things. 6, yeah. Let me be confirmed. We'll be seeing the 6 things that makes us advance in Krishna consciousness. We see that next week. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Any questions? No. No questions. Can I stop sharing?
Okay, just take the
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for being here. Hope you all liked my class. Everyone online and in real life. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very nice class. Very
Thank you,
bold.
Mataji.
Very well presented.
Mataji, very nice first day.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Right. So thank you. Thank you, Grace.
Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Vrnda.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So